Hi, I'm Marcey Rader of Work Well, Play More, and I am a productivity and health coach and speaker and author of 3 books. And one of my specialties is working with companies to help them transition on with remote work or offshore staffing. My company has been in business for almost 7 years, and we've worked in multiple industries, and accounting is one of our favorite. As someone who specializes in helping companies transition to a remote workforce or to find, hire, and onboard offshore staffing and remote staffing, of course, I'm a big fan. I have worked remotely for 18 years. My staff is all remote, and so for me, it just makes sense. I think for a lot of companies that are worried about, maybe having people offshore or remote, that, we've been doing this for a long time. Remote work and offshore staffing has been going on for well over 20 years. And with the technologies that are available today, it's even easier. And with Integrity, what's great about their model is that they're not remote just working from home. They're going into an office and being in an office environment. They just happen to be in a different time zone. Polarized view of offshore staffing being, being challenging or difficult or junk is, I think, a backwards view and a very narrow-minded view. I haven't heard anybody say that that's actually worked with offshore staffing. And while there might be some negatives, I can come up with 3 positives, for every negative that's out there. One of those positives that I think trumps all of them is that work can be done while you're sleeping. That's one of the things that I love about offshore employees is that when I wake up in the morning, the list of tasks are done. And so it's almost like I've cloned myself because I'm able to get stuff done during my sleep. And that is something that I think companies might want to think about is, that you have a greater breadth and depth of the work that you can do when you hire offshore. What people do need to be concerned about is that they think it's just going to be kittens, rainbows, everything easy, and that they can just pass on their information to their remote or offshore employee and they'll just be able to do it. It is still the company's responsibility to train that employee just like you would at somebody in a physical office and to find the right person for them. And when they found that person, treat them as an employee, just like, they are, just like the people that are in your office, make that connection with them, use video conferencing. That's a huge, huge benefit that we have now is that video conferencing is so easy and it's cheap, and having that face-to-face connection can be really important to not only make them feel part of your company, but for you to see nuances. If somebody's pausing and thinking about something, or they get a look on their face like they don't quite understand, these are things that are really important for you to do as the company hiring the offshore staff. The other thing that you have to be careful about, thinking that, oh, it's a slam dunk, I can just give them a bunch of tasks and move on with my life, is that, from a training perspective, start recording yourself using something like Zoom to, share your desktop in the recording and, complete the different things that you're doing. Use a voiceover, talk it through, and then you have a link that you can send them that, you don't have to go over it with them. It's actually all in the video. And so then that way it saves you time, saves them time. They can pause and restart the video as they're learning about different things. And that's a good practice, whether you have remote offshore employees or you have face-to-face employees. When people look at the costs of offshore staffing, a couple of things can occur. One is people think it's only $9 an hour. I'm going to hire 4 people. If you don't need 4 people, then don't hire 4 people. The last thing you want is for people to be idle. And so really think about what it is that you need. On the other extreme, people think $9 an hour, that's terrible, because they're thinking about it in terms of the US economy, and that $9 an hour, is minimum wage. Integrity is paying, their employees good wages, and we have to think about that in a different view. And for me personally, I'm able to employ someone for my business overseas in a way that I wouldn't be able to here. I'm able to grow my business in a way that I wouldn't be able to do if I only hired from the US. And so in the end, I'm still able to give back to the economy more. I'm able to pay them a very good wage. And so having that black and white thinking that either, it's not enough money because you're so focused on what an accountant might make here, or that, oh, it's hardly anything, I'll hire 3 or 4 when you don't really need it. Both of those aren't smart thinking. Hire like you would here. How many people do you need? Do you just need 1? Do you need 5? Then that's what you hire. And the rate that you pay doesn't reflect on quality or quantity of the people that you're hiring. As an integrity offshore staffing coach, I am happy to recommend integrity. I've recommended it to several clients already. I think it's really smart, especially for growing businesses or businesses that want to expand in a way that they haven't been able to before. It makes for a good balance for people to, that face-to-face connection with their clients, but then also have clients that don't need that face-to-face connection. So, bar none, recommend it on a scale of 1 to 10, absolutely a 10. I'm already there.